I don't have any beauty regimen that I do. I I just get up and get to work. I do time block my mornings for, you know, I guess I'm part of the 5 a.m. club, right? So I start my morning at 5 a.m. Before the rest of the world is awake, and it helps me be, set out the first. Okay, I make my coffee, fresh ground coffee. I sit in quiet thought process and review what I want to get done for the day, hurdles that are along the way, and imagine the best outcomes. And then, then we get started with the meetings and the other pieces of my day after that visualization / meditation thing that I do in the morning. That's it. Yeah. Sometimes I get
Awesome.
worked out, sometimes I don't. Yeah, I think we can use that like 10-minute meditation with my coffee as how to supercharge your day. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, in 1926, we were in a depression and they had just invented the car. So since then, we've come a really long way. Even a better question is, how has the field of orthobiologics transformed in the last 15 years? What was I doing 15 years ago that was ridiculous? Number one, I was injecting PRP with an 18 gauge and torturing my patients. Number two, we weren't counting platelet dose. We didn't even really realize what that looked like or how that was. Number three, there was a massive amount of dogma around the division between leukocyte rich and leukocyte poor. This has become significantly more nuanced. Number five, there's a massive amount of data that has been accumulated over the last 15 to 20 years that shows that this should be a first-line treatment for the majority of musculoskeletal problems. We now are at the end of the beginning where we're starting to know enough to actually get started. I think the use of ultrasound guidance has accelerated the precision and ability to be placing these injectates exactly where we are, the ability for us to measure exactly what dose and makeup of the cells and platelets have been much more precise. So I think a massive, logarithmic focus on precision. And I think the public's perception is that they're looking for something that's not surgery and not medications. And so this fills both of those slots in patient perception as well. Interesting. In the United States, there is regulatory issues, but there's a lot of things that can be done that fall directly in the purview of an acceptable. It's off-label, but not outside the realm. Most physicians use off-label treatments every day, and so I think that's the way that we should be thinking, especially about PRP. And it's just an off-label use of a treatment, just like every other time that we use medications off-label, we use surgeries that were, we use the premises and but not how it was designed, right? So I think pushing forward, I think the classification of the way that we envision use of PRP is very similar to how we use medications off-label, because that is common. Every physician does it every day. What we know about online platforms is they can be used by the designer of the platform to push and control and shape human behavior. We know that it creates echo chambers. We know that it gives you more of what you're looking for and gives you less of what you don't look for, which means that that is not only confirmation bias, but there's so much bias that starts to be built into what you're being shown from your behavior alone. Those algorithms are built not to broaden your knowledge, but narrow your perception. And so I think, that perception of success, it depends on what you believe. And so it becomes a belief, not opening people's eyes to things they don't know about. So as an example, when you look in your scientific journal, you breeze over the articles that you don't know anything about because you don't care about them. And so you didn't read them. And so that's a confirmation bias that is, it's not what you know and not what you believe. So it doesn't exist. Except it does, you just ignored it. So you only listen to and attend to things that confirm what you already know and listen and attend to. So that platform does that specifically and aggressively. I think that, social media has the opportunity to open people's eyes to new ways of thinking. Unfortunately, we get these echo chambers and we get a narrowing perspective that just confirms what you already think and what you already know. It has the ability to open the avenue to new ways of thinking, but it currently is not used that way, and only in people who have really done a good job at basically stopping the scroll with entertainment have you then had access to someone that maybe wasn't listening to you before. I think we really love when we have a massive success story, a win that basically touches everybody, that everybody had a part to play in their success. So that for us is why we do it, and we continue to do what we do, is it fills all of our cups to be able to play a direct role in patients getting back to the things they love, being able to participate in their lives and not be held back by joint pain. I love the thought of minimalism, and in my life, it does not exist. What I have tried to do is use one thing, right? Whether it's the car service, I just use Uber. I don't want to have more than one app. I want to have one way that I call the someone or another to come and get me. I use one airline company. I use one hotel company. So from that perspective, I really try to at least consolidate. And so we try to get rid of the extraneous stuff. Marie Kondo has a technique that if it doesn't bring you joy, you get rid of it in your life. So I've been trying to apply that to my life. If a project isn't bringing me joy, I need to just, either sign off or give it to somebody else. If, the exercise regimen that I'm doing isn't bringing me joy, I got to find something that does. So that's kind of it. I love the thought of it. In practice, it's very difficult to do.